Jesus is simply a God. No, Jesus is not a God. He is simply a human creature. Jesus is part God, part human. Can you see the contradictory definitions that these statements are giving? Yes, we are going to see the early Christian contradictory principles that were followed during that time, and what are all the principles that were obsolete now, and what are all the principles that were partially followed now, and what were completely followed by people now, that is Christians now. So let's get into the video. And first one is Ebionism. Ebionism, it is a term that refers to the sect of Jewish Christian people that lived during the first century, and they voluntarily accepted poverty. They believed that by accepting poverty by themselves, they are going to get the God's blessings directly, and they believed that Jesus is not a God but a human just like you and me. And he is not born to Virgin Mary. He is the son of Joseph and Mary. They rejected the principles like divinity, and he was born to Virgin Mary, and he was not there to safeguard us from all our sins, but he was there just like us to achieve the divine power. But they also stated that why Jesus attained the divine power, but he was not born divine, but he achieved the divine power. They said that Jesus attained the divine power because he was extremely obedient to the Jewish law that was followed during that time. It is famously called as Law of Moses, which is the very strict law that was followed at that time. It says that if you commit any 1% of the sin, you will get a punishment from God. Okay, that's what they say. And why we see the contradictory in all those statements? Let's see here. They say that because Jesus was very obedient. By that term, they are trying to describe that Jesus is extremely perfectionist. He didn't commit any error in following all those law, which is by which is by natural term we can conclude that any human being they cannot make 100% perfect one without 1% error. So they say that he followed obediently every law strictly. There is no idol worship other than the one God. No animal sacrifices, and strictly following the law without any error, so that God will accept you. By the statement, they are saying that you should be very perfect, and you should be very committed to your logic, so that God will make you divine. Which means it just drives us to the question: why then only Jesus? Which means if some other person might be that much perfectionist at that time, why can't he be this? He attain the same divine power as Jesus. So this is the biggest question that we have, and so that this Abrahamistic principle was not relevant for much period, which makes us to the second point, that is Gnosticism. Gnosticism, which means the term gnosis, the small word gnosis means shared, not shared, secret knowledge. Sorry. So secret knowledge. The term itself says the secret knowledge, which means you should attain the knowledge, but you should keep that knowledge to yourself. You should not share that to anyone. Okay. So that is what Gnosticism means, and people believed that. You should be from elite spiritual background to follow that secret knowledge, so that you can attain that secret knowledge, and people around you, the novice people around you, will come to you. You can be the master in the church, and they will come to you, and they will sit by your feet, and they will they will take all your advice for their lifetime, in their complete lifetime. No one will become the master. You will be the master, and you will transfer your knowledge only to the privileged person, only to the privileged person who are born in the elite spiritual background. That one person can attain that secret knowledge, so that it can be transferred to the another generation, and the people all around you will just be your followers. They will simply follow anything without questioning anything. That's what Gnosticism says, and this just leads us to the question: why it is favoring only one individual, and the individual, if he or she is born only in that privileged elite spiritual background, can only attain that secret knowledge. Means every other person and their generation will just die as a normal people. It is only to that person that they can be getting that secret knowledge. So it is entirely the wrong statement, because what if the person might be mentally retarded, mentally unstable, or else they might have the Down syndrome, so that they can't even, they can't even study, or else they might have any health issues, so that they can't concentrate heavily. Even though if they are born in the elite spiritual background, they can't get that secret knowledge. So all these things are concluding it to that intellectual robbery only by the elite, specific group of people. So that is what the statement is concluding as, which is very wrong. So that's why Gnosticism also didn't serve for much period at that time, which makes us to the famous theory, that is Arianism. Arianism was derived from the intellectual teacher who lived during the 4th century, called Arius. He derived the principle that God is the superior creature. Okay, so even Jesus Christ is the God's first and greatest creation. This is what a statement completely denotes, which means Jesus Christ is equivalent. It's not equivalent to God, but he is inferior to God. God is a superior creature, and Jesus Christ is simply the creature of God. So that you can see that God might have the genes, so that the son might also have the genes. There is a father's gene will match the son's gene, but the characteristics of son will not match the characteristics of God. That is, the uniqueness will not be there between both. That's what Arianism stated. And Arianism stated that God is superior to the Son, so that we should follow the monotheistic principle. We should only worship one God, as such, followed by some other religion. So that's what they spread during that time. And why Arianism was very popular during that time, despite of being it contradicted much with the Orthodox Christianity during that time, is Orthodox Christianity statements believed that God and Son, that is, Jesus is made from the same substance as God. Okay, so this is the same. This is the sentence. But Arianism stated that God and Jesus are made from similar substances. So when you compare these two statements, you can see that there is not much difference. So people were thinking that it is very appealing to follow Arianism, which is why it is followed by some group of people still now. That is what this is one of their tactics, like framing the sentence exactly as the fundamental beliefs of people, but to some extent it should differ. But people can't exactly pinpoint that. That's how they propagated it to other people, and people believe that Arianism is, of course, it is teaching us that there is only one God, so that we will have uniqueness around our religion. But Athanasius was also one of the famous intellectual, lived during that time, during the 90s. He stated that if if you say Arius is saying that there is only one God, and Son is inferior to God, which itself it is undermining the polytheism that is followed by the Christianity. That is, uh, uh, Christianity, Orthodox Christianity states that there are the God, the Son, and the spiritual. There is a Holy Ghost. Okay, there are three people, and Arianism is just undermining this principle by stating that Son is inferior to God, so that before Son was born, already the God was there. No? So how could you say that only God is superior? Only glorifying God is superior all over the time period. But Jesus was there, and Jesus took away all the sins of people during the time of his being. So Athanasius constructed this statement that there is only one God from Arianism into. That is, there is one God. Obviously, there is only one God, but we are going to worship one God in three persons image. That's what Athanasius developed. He said that there is only one God, there is only one Jesus, there is only one Holy Spirit host. Okay? but all are gods and all are one God. So that's what Athanasius believed, and still now Arianism is famous in Eastern Mediterranean countries, and Athanasium is famous in Western Mediterranean countries. So these are all the principles, famous principles that contradicted during the early Christianity church formations and religious belief formations and all. So see you in next video.